93 Boxing, I'm back with a quick video. Adrien Broner versus Mikey Garcia is going to fight soon. And I've made my comments on the fact that I think Adrien Broner will pull it off. I want to go through the main factors that will determine the fight. Adrien Broner and Mikey Garcia, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But the main factors include: will Adrien Broner throw hands? A lot of times he just waits for punches, right? Will he be the one throwing hands this time? That's a big factor, because a lot of times when Adrien Broner doesn't throw, he looks like shit. But when Adrien Broner does throw, he's getting the better of his opponent. Adrien Broner will use his footwork. Because, see, Adrien Broner physically talented and all that, but that's potential. He has high potential, but that doesn't mean that he would actually use his potential. There are many fighters in the world that may have never used their potential. And it's no point having all that potential if you don't use it. Adrien Broner has never really used his potential to a very high extent, like nowhere near close to his 100%. One of the problems with Adrien Broner is he's flat-footed. Combine the fact that he doesn't really have the best shoulder roll. He just has a shoulder roll. It's not really the best shoulder roll out there. He is more hittable than what people think. Now, you can actually avoid getting hit if you have good footwork or good foot speed. And Adrien Broner is really flat-footed. He does show some good foot movement at times when he's sharp and shit. But a lot of times he doesn't. And I feel like his foot movement is one of his main disadvantages, or lack of it rather. So those two things, him being able to throw hands and foot movement from Adrien Broner. We know Mikey Garcia is more consistent. One question I do have for Mikey Garcia, and this will be a factor, is power. Now, we are under the assumption that Mikey Garcia do not hit as hard as Maidana, and I mean most people are, or at least I am. And I don't think Mikey Garcia hits as hard as Maidana, but Robert Garcia in his camp is saying that Mikey Garcia does hit harder than Marcos Maidana. Like his camp, Brandon Rios said that. Brandon Rios says Mikey Garcia hits harder than Marcos Maidana and Lucas Matisse. He literally says Mikey Garcia is the hardest puncher that he ever been with. It's hard for me to believe a guy that small can hit that hard. Mikey Garcia, can he really hit as hard as Marcos Maidana or harder? Because that would be interesting if he does. He does have some devastating knockouts. The thing is, it's hard for me to believe because Marcos Maidana is a big puncher, even for all the weight divisions that he was in. It's one thing if Marcos Maidana was not a big punch, like a KO puncher like he was. If he was just like just a decent puncher, right? Just a guy with decent power. It's one thing if he was like that and Mikey Garcia hit harder than him. But Marcos Maidana was a guy that hit hard even for the weight division that he was in. Surely Mikey Garcia has nothing on him. Maybe it's a different kind of power. Maybe it's more snap on it. But for real, like that, it's hard for me to believe it. The only reason this is still a factor. I'm still looking forward to see if this is a factor or not. I'm still looking forward to see if Mikey Garcia does hit as hard as Maidana, if not harder. Because Mikey Garcia, right? I find it hard to believe it, but because his whole camp is saying this shit, well, apparently, for that reason, I'll be looking forward to see if that's the case. Those things are factors. And another main factor, obviously there's many factors out there, but I'm labeling the top factors that we're not sure about, right? I personally think Mikey Garcia won't hit as hard as Marcos Maidana. Will it hit harder than Adrien Broner? Maybe. Broner's power is kind of different. It's like a snap power. It's not really a heavy thudding shot, like a concussive shot. I mean, it might a little bit concussive, but he's more like, a lot of his power comes from precision and the suddenness, the surprise factor. Something that's a punch that surprises you, like when you don't expect it coming and it hits you, it can hurt you more than the punch that you do see coming. So Adrien Broner has that, surprise factor, that timing, that 0 to 100 speed. Going from 0 to 100, Adrien Broner is super fast. I think he might be faster than Amir Khan when it comes to the acceleration of the punch. From like nothing to sudden something. Maybe, I don't know. And we don't know if Mikey Garcia hits as hard as Adrien Broner. He might do. I think he might hit harder, but Adrien Broner is a bigger guy. I think he could take it. The most important, as I said, is the footwork. Will Broner let his hands go? And Mikey Garcia's power, if he does hit a lot harder than Maidana, then okay, that's a factor, which I find it hard to believe, but that might be a factor if that's true. I really don't think it's true. Like that's really stretching it, isn't it? But anyway, the other factor is durability. I feel like Mikey Garcia will not be durable enough for Adrien Broner. Keep in mind, a person might hit as hard as you, even if they're coming from a lower weight division. They might be fast as you if they come from a lower weight division, which is not surprising, right? They might be everything apart from durability. Because you're simply not a big enough guy. Adrien Broner's been there with guys that are bigger than him, right? Guys that are punchers at that weight division. We don't know how much of a puncher Mikey Garcia is at 140. We know that Adrien Broner, being with Marcos Maidana, he was coming forward, right? Adrien Broner's durable, and he never been stopped against Sean Porter. And Sean Porter's way bigger than Broner. The thing is, Mikey Garcia, no matter how hard he hits, no matter how capable he is of hurting Adrien Broner is definitely capable of hurting Mikey Garcia. Because as you're coming up in weight, the punches that Mikey Garcia has been dropped before, right? And Adrien Broner is a lot quicker than the guy that dropped him, hits with more force. So he has the speed and the power, force behind it. More speed and more force than anyone that Mikey Garcia has faced. And Adrien Broner's going to be dangerous. He does go to the body when he's focused. He goes to the body. He's hurt Maidana, and Maidana's a bigger guy. I don't care what anyone says. Power, maybe hypothetically in a almost unimaginable world, Mikey Garcia may hit harder than Maidana. However, Mikey Garcia will not be more durable than these 147 fighters. No way. Actually, I don't think he'd be more durable than a lot of 140 fighters anyway. So I don't think Mikey Garcia can hang with Broner when it comes to that type of shit. Broner might actually, if he does let his hands go, right? Because that's also another factor. If Broner lets his hands go, hit body shots here and there from early rounds, he breaks him down, headshots, body shots. And I think hitting to the body will do the trick. Because it will slow the man down. And obviously, when you got more, when you weigh more, when you got more mass on you, you're able to take more shots. That's the honest truth of it, whether we like to admit it or not. And Mikey Garcia will not have more mass than Adrien Broner. Adrien Broner will have way more mass than him. Mikey Garcia is really, look at the last, how many he fought? Adrian Granados, Ashley Theophane, right? Who did he fight before that? Let me name some of the fighters that Adrien Broner faced after Sean Porter, or maybe before. After Maidana for sure, right? He faced someone like Carlos Molina. He faced John Molina. He faced, who else was it there? Emmanuel Taylor. He faced Ashley Theophane. He faced, Adrian Granados. Those things, I can't remember all of them on top of my head, but those are some of them. They're all bigger than Marcos Maidana. Mikey Garcia, I'm really fucking this whole video up by calling Marcos Maidana Mikey Garcia, Marcos Maidana. But you get my point, right? Mikey Garcia is smaller than all of these guys, and they will not be able, I don't think this guy will be able to take shots of Adrien Broner, for real. Adrien Broner has more force on his punches than anyone Mikey Garcia has fought, and Mikey Garcia has been dropped. Adrien Broner also has way more snap, and trust me, a guy with force and snap, that's dangerous, I'm telling you, because we think about concussive punches, right, as being dangerous, but there's also another type of punch, the snappy punch, that's dangerous. A Shane Mosley punch, as I said, Manny Pacquiao in his prime punch, Andre Berto, who these type of fighters got a lot of snap on it, and Adrien Broner's got force on it. Mikey Garcia will definitely feel his force, but he's got a ridiculous snap, and when both combined, that's really a dangerous puncher. But I feel like for this reason, I don't think Adrien Broner will throw hands, but at times he will look like he's not throwing enough. I feel, right? Adrien Broner will move his foot, but at times we'll feel like he's not doing enough. Adrien Broner, this is just my opinion, right? Adrien Broner will be able to break Mikey Garcia down. I don't think Mikey Garcia is durable enough, and I don't think Mikey Garcia hits harder than Michael Maidana. But even if he hits just about as hard, we've seen Adrien Broner take those shots and come forward, and Adrien Broner can if he can hurt Marcus Maidana, he can definitely hurt Mikey Garcia for sure. And also, Mikey Garcia will be a lot more consistent. That's the good thing about Mikey Garcia. When Broner's not throwing and he doesn't really have the best defense, let's say at times Broner won't be throwing and won't be using his feet. What's going to happen is Mikey Garcia will be using his feet and he will be throwing. He doesn't have special effects, but he does things consistently. And at those moments, Adrien Broner will, or rather Mikey Garcia will get the better of Adrien Broner. But other than that, every time this whole fight depends on if Adrien Broner throws or not. For real, if he's focused and if he throws or not. This completely, 70% or 80% of the fight depends on Adrien Broner. But that's really my opinion. Don't forget to subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. 93 Boxing, I'm out.